Azzi, you mentioned yesterday how excited you guys were for you mentioned yesterday how excited you guys were for your first competition matchup. How you look forward to an early test this early in the season. What did you guys learn from how this game finished and how hard or whether it was in that fourth quarter?
Yeah, I think we learned a lot today. Michigan, they were a tough team to play, and we definitely can take a lot away from the second half, but that third quarter. Um, I mean, looking at this box score, seeing that we scored 4 points, it felt like that, but that is not okay. And I think a big part of that was us. We kind of beat ourselves in that. We were allowing them to get shots. That the first half we were locked in, we were focused, and we kind of got lax in that third quarter. So not letting that happen, not letting it last all an entire quarter, and then that fourth quarter, we still had a lot of mental mistakes, but I was really proud of how we stuck together. We figured it out at the end, and there were moments when it felt like we were trying to lose, but like I said, we really stuck together, figured it out, made plays when we needed to, got rebounds when we needed to. Shout out Sarah. But yeah, we figured it out.
Maybe also for you that huddle going into the fourth quarter, kind of what was that like? What was the conversation like between you guys? Who was kind of leading the charge, and what did you feel like shifted when you guys got back on the floor?
Yeah, I think a common comment that came up was one, we needed to focus. It felt like we weren't focused on defense, but really to like settle, be calm, stay calm. I think we knew like we always have trust in each other no matter what's going on in the game. So reminding each other, stay calm, we got this. Like it's time. Let's go. It's time to turn up.
Sarah, what do you think it means to you guys to be tested like this early and pass the test down the stretch? You don't get challenged like that very often. You're likely to face a challenge like that in March. What does it mean that very as well?
Yeah, it means a lot. It means a lot. I feel like it's good film for us to look over. We have a lot to learn from. So
Howard McDowell, line basketball. So for you, early on, there was a block on Cyrus Surgery, came out, extended beyond the three-point line. Seems like you are ranging further and wider defensively this year than you were last year. Can you take me through, how and why you've been able to do that, and sort of what you feel like your range is to be able to block shots at this point specifically?
I mean, yeah, I'm no longer. I no longer have to guard the big most of the time, so I'm out guarding guards and getting a hand on the shooting. Go ahead, Daniel.
Easy,
Maybe.
easy. You had, I think, 13 of your team's 23 points in the fourth quarter. As a senior, did you feel an additional responsibility to step up when the game was starting to slip there and kind of assert yourself?
I think the only thing that was going through my mind was to be aggressive. Um, I knew we needed to get a bucket, and whether that's me scoring, Sarah scoring, Ash scoring, KJ scoring, you got to be aggressive, be willing to take those shots. And so I think, yeah, being aggressive, and then my teammates were giving me great looks.
Easy. Can you just talk about the plays that KK made at the end? She was 0 for 4 before she made that big three-pointer that kind of turned the game for you guys, and then she comes up with the steal at the end. I mean, just the confidence she's playing with in a big spot like that.
Yeah, and I think that it just goes to show the work that she's done this past off season and like the player she's becoming, having that confidence in herself. Because in the past, I'm not so sure she would have shot that next one after missing the last. So to see her shoot that and shoot that confidently, I mean, we're all super proud of her. We knew that was going in, but just the intensity that she brings on both ends of the floor, the hustle plays, picking up on defense full court the entire game, like that's something like no one else can do that.
Mallory Dubley here with Voice in Sport. If both of you want to answer this, definitely feel free. Playing at UConn, you guys are kind of used to playing in these pressure cooker environments and high stake matchups. So, what's something that you each tell yourselves in these high pressure moments, and what's a lesson that pressure has taught you guys? Easy answer. One thing I tell myself is just stay calm. I feel like if I get rattled, and that affects how I play and affects the rest of my team. So, just
I'd also say I tell myself to stay calm and just reminding myself. I feel like lately I've really started diving into my faith, reminding myself like if God is on my side, like who's against me, and just reminding myself of that. Um, and something that I feel like we've learned is like a game like today, what we're capable of, and obviously things we need to fix. But seeing ourselves go through today, seeing ourselves figure things out and get through that third quarter, figure out what was going wrong. We just learned that we're capable of doing this.
Talk about you were able to maintain composure even as you're watching like your opponents, especially gain a lot of momentum.
I think from trusting each other, just knowing that they're going on a run, and that run might have lasted way too long, but like we have full confidence in each other that we're gonna get that next stop, we're gonna make that next basket, whether it's me, whether it's Sarah, whether it's anyone on the floor, we just believe and we trust in each other. So I think just having that trust and being able to lean on each other.
Sarah, AZ gave you the shout out. You had a career high 20 rebounds today. Can you just talk about your productivity there? I mean, yeah, I was just rebounding and not really thinking about it. That was, I don't know, right place, right time.
For you again, Sarah. Everyone likes to talk about AZ as a three-point shooter and a sniper, but combined for the game-winning turnover today, seconds after hitting the game-sealing free throws, you just kind of speak to her as a defender and more importantly as a leader this year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, AZ stepped up she stepped up a lot in this game, and I'm very happy that she made those free throws. And had confidence in her she was going to make it. So I mean, she does that in practice. She does that every day. So it's just nothing new. She do that.
Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like there was a number of instances on the court where you seemed a little frustrated with maybe the physicality or you felt like you were getting fouled. Any comments on that?
I mean, even from being fouled, I feel like I still got to make the shot. Or, I don't know, just got to keep trying to do it.
All right, AZ, here to come down. We will move to questions for coach. You go ahead.
In that first half, you guys really looked unbeatable, and then in the second half, quite a different story. And just how would you assess like the dominance of the first half, and then how would you assess your play in the second half?
Well, when we started the game, we forced them to play maybe a little quicker than they wanted to, take some shots that were maybe a little quicker than they wanted to be. That helped us get out and transition more. And no one at halftime thought that final score was then going to be 90 to 40, They made us play a little bit slower in the second half. I think we became tentative. I thought they did a good job of running their offense and making us stay on defense a little bit longer, probably. Shots that we had that we were willing to take in the first half, some guys were like a little bit, hesitant, and next thing you know, against a really good team, they get enough opportunities, they're gonna convert on those. It's probably the first game that we've had where we didn't get a big boost from our bench, so all that, I think, made for a close game at the end.
you had easy hitting shots early and then Silas hitting shots late. I mean, it must be fun to watch as a coach seeing good basketball, so to speak. And
Yeah.
talk about, I don't remember many guards doing that against you guys, sort of shot for shot in early season November showdown.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Obviously, those are two of the best shooters in the country playing tonight. Against each other, and they both put on quite a show. And not easy for them to get those shots, but they seem to be able to make shots other people have a hard time making. I thought, I forget which one it was, but I'm trying to think. Well, the one Asada made, that was behind, like a foot behind the NBA line, right? I mean, that was, and it was the end of the shot clock, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So once you get a good player, once they get going and they can feel it, and the team has a certain momentum, they just need an opportunity to shoot it, and it's a pretty good chance it's going to go in. So they went to their strengths, and we went to ours, and we just had enough at the end to put it away. But I told Kim before the game that I thought this is the best team she's ever had. They're really, really, really good. And I told her after the game, I told you. She didn't believe me before the game. I told you. So, sometimes we play teams that are top 10 teams, and we make it look like this is the easiest thing in the world to play a top 10 team and just go out and win by 30. This team is Michigan's way too much like us. And I don't like playing teams that are just like us. So hopefully we won't see another one of them for a while.
Sarah's very nonchalant about her night where she's getting 20 rebounds, but at the same time operating defensively in a way where you're able to send her out at guards. And the two parts to it I'm wondering are how not normal is this? Can you kind of speak to how not normal it is that she's able to do this as a sophomore, but also is this what you were expecting from her at this role at this time, or has she developed faster than you expected?
You can tell it when you see a player play in high school what kind of skills they possess and what kind of temperament they have on the court. And I always knew this was going to happen for Sarah. Nobody knows if it's going to happen like it happened in the NCAA tournament last year, or like it's happening now. You always knew it was there. We can play differently defensively when she's in the game than we can when we have a traditional, big in the game. We can play differently offensively because we can put her anywhere on the floor and we're good. Not thrilled that she had to play 40 minutes tonight. I wish I could have given her a breather. I think, that third quarter, she looked a little fatigued, and that's my fault. But for her to get 20 rebounds, that doesn't say a lot about our other guys, does it? So our other bigs, the ones that got in the game, they have a lot to make up for. We can't, nor should we expect, her to go out and get 20 every night. Sarah Williams, Blanca, those guys got to get involved, right? They got to be involved. Last year, Paige was our second best defensive rebounder. So we need to get a couple more rebounders in there, and not just one. But yeah, we rely on her and AZ an awful lot in games like this. like I said, it was Michigan's 2 guys against our 2 guys, and ours came out a little bit ahead.
You said last week, you relayed some of your text messages with Kim, and Kim just talked about it a little bit too. You said last week that maybe that you guys should go have a couple of drinks and gamble a little bit. I guess after this one, do you feel like you need to go have a drink? And if so, what would you have?
Yeah. Yeah. At the XL Center, we have a new club. It's like a bar right outside my locker room. So I can just walk out there during timeout sometimes and just grab something. And tonight, if we had that here, I might not have come out in the second half. I knew going in this was not going to be easy. I didn't sleep well last night and had a pit in my stomach the entire day. I knew this was going to be hard because they're good. They're very, very, very good. Very good. I think they're one of the best teams that I've seen. I can't say I've seen everybody play, but I haven't seen many teams better than them, that's for sure.
For Azzi to kind of just take over the way she did in the fourth, what kind of leadership did you see from her down the stretch, and just kind of where's her confidence level right now?
Yeah, I think there's a lot on her shoulders right now. You know, we have some inconsistencies in our perimeter guy shooting. Like when we're good, we're good. Like you saw, like when Ashley's making them, she's making them. When she's not, she's not. You know, so Azzi's the one that we know if we get her enough touches, something good's going to happen. It would make her job a lot easier if, on a regular basis. We had other guys, but some nights you're just going to have to do more on your own. You know, I thought tonight she did a lot of it on her own. I mean, you know, we had 21 assists on 26 baskets, and that's pretty good. But I think we need to create more shots on our own, and I think she did some of that today because she's capable. She's capable of doing it.
You know, KK took that shot right in front of you. First of all, what were you thinking when she put it up there? I mean, were you thinking she should have passed it to Azzi for another 3? Or?
I mean, you like that kids have confidence. I mean, I'm glad she had confidence to take that one right in front of her bench. I mean, she only missed the other one by about 5 feet. So that would have given me confidence to shoot the next one. I was ready to pull my hair out. But I'm glad that she had the confidence to knock it in. You know?
Can you talk about the trust you have in her overall? I mean, you played her 37 minutes today. She had 7 assists. I mean, how does she contribute to this team?
Yeah, and same thing. You know, I don't think anybody needs to play that many minutes. But as I said, we didn't get any production whatsoever from our bench, right? So we couldn't do what we've been doing, which is try to keep everybody fresh and play, you know, 22, 25 minutes. You know, nobody should have to play 40, 37 minutes. So we have to address that. So it makes it even more, I think, more impressive that playing all those minutes and having the defensive assignments that she had, that she was still able to make that many offensive plays when we needed her to make them. Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you don't have the luxury of getting a couple breathers, it's hard. It's hard. I trust KK. I mean, I would trust her with my wallet. It was empty. We're working on it. She's gaining more and more trust every day. Next time I'll put like a $5 bill in.
You know, you mentioned that they're too much like you.
Yeah.
Right? And I was thinking of Kim, when she was at St. John's, pulling off the upset at Campbell when nobody really was doing that. I was wondering, is there something about her teams, the way she coaches, that where they come at you a little bit different than other teams do? They're not afraid. They don't get shell shocked when we're down 21-5. Do they come at you a little bit different, her teams?
I think her teams are usually pretty well balanced, and they they play a style of play that takes advantage of their strengths, and they don't do things that get them in trouble. A lot of teams lose because they're trying to do stuff against us that they can't do. Like they're a pressing team; they press all the time. Watch them this year. Every game they played, they pressed the entire game. They didn't press us one time, totally, the last minute of the game, whatever. So they always play to the way the other team plays to take away what the other team's strengths are. She's really good at that, and she has the right roster this year. Of playmakers. She's got a bunch of guys that can make plays. Yeah, I've always been a big fan. I mean, if they hadn't beat us that game at Gamble, she might still be at St. John's. So I'm glad they won. Get her the hell out of our league, right?
One of the first one possession games you've been in a while. Can you just kind of speak to your level of comfort and or confidence that you had drawing up a play for AZ or Sarah down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it depends on what you think you see defensively, I thought we did a good job of getting AZ a wide open three at a crucial time, one right in front of my bench, right in front of me actually, right there. And the ability to get that shot, I think you have to trust that she knows where to go, where the spot's going to be open, and you have to trust that we're going to deliver that pass right on time. And the only way you learn if you can do those things is you have to be in those situations, in-game situations. Now you can go over them and practice a million times, but it has to be like right here, in a game that really matters. We shoot free throws every day, but until you shoot them at the end of the game and you have to make them, it's different. So yeah, Daisy's got the last shot of the half. We know once that two-man game goes with the two of them, something good's going to happen. I'm not sure what, but I know something good's going to happen. And then the rest, you just got to, if it goes in, you win. If it doesn't, you lose. But at least you're going to do it with the players you believe in the most, for sure.
Michigan drop back in a zone, especially after the first quarter. What do you see from those different looks, and then what do you see with your offense when they saw those different looks throughout the game?
They were having a problem guarding us man to man, and they weren't scoring. So those two things, one, they started to score. So that allowed them to have the luxury of being able to set up their zone. They're not a zone team, but they went to zone. My other point, they're not really a zone team, but they had to, because that was the only chance they were going to have, to try to slow us down, to try to make us be a little more stagnant. Because when it was just flowing, free flowing, we were going, it was really tough. So they scored, they got back in the zone, and they spread it out enough that they weren't worried too much about what we were getting inside. So we threw it inside, and we didn't get anything. Then we got outside and we missed. Then when we missed, we stopped shooting it. And then we started forcing it. So whatever their intent was for going zone, I thought it was a great idea. So it was great for that particular moment. And they stayed with it. They went a couple more possessions man to man, but mostly they stayed zone. What are you doing down here? Don't you have a football game coming up?
Not my beat.
Not your beat? All right. Who you guys play? Maryland? They suck, right? You guys are filled in.
Above my pay grade, I think.
Above your pay grade? Why, because your AD standing back there?
Thanks, coach.